How long gone? Chris Black coming to you from Miami. Race day, as they say in some circles, Jason. What are you racing to? Coffee? The toilet? How are you feeling?
Chris, we're here to talk about one thing and one thing only. 100 men, one gorilla. What do you think?
I don't think anything is the reality. Like, I can't, as much as I love to involve myself in the most trivial, stupid things on the internet, for some reason that one passed me by.
Good, because there's no real reason to really get too into it.
yeah, there's no.
So one of those things like, what do you
reason.
think would happen? Do you think the gorilla would win or the people? And then some people say people, some people say gorilla, and then at the end you're like, all right, you want to get some lunch or something? Yeah, there's not much to chew on.
There's no clear winner.
There's only one way to prove it, and that's why it's stupid. We're never going to actually do it. I don't care if you do an AI model of it. I need to see real flesh being torn from bone.
If it goes too far, I feel like it's possible that someone would try to do this. You know what I mean? There's some, like, Mr. Beast is going to take this upon himself to make it a reality, to get a fucking answer for all of us.
He doesn't have the stones. It would have to be underground. It would have to be, it would have to be in international waters. It would be a very dark situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
But let's move on from that. We don't want to talk about it. When I said that was what we're going to talk about, it was a straight up joke. But anyway, how was did you hit Carbone Beach powered by American Express yesterday?
Yeah, no.
What? Why not?
I did not. I didn't
want to get a
the...
little sandy rigatoni.
I love it. Oh, I thought that was Parmesan. That's sand that you're putting on top? Oh, that's
sand,
weird.
baby.
Okay. I don't know if I can do that. No, Friday, Steph took us out on the boat, which was pretty sick, I have to say.
Your boat lunch.
I'd never done that. It was like a sunset cruise kind of vibe, but there was like a full, it was like there was a captain with the boat's logo, embroidered on his polo.
That's nice. That's nice.
It was nice. It was fun. I got to swim. There's a popular trend here I'm seeing that's pretty innovative, I have to say. It's like a giant yoga mat that's made of noodle material.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
So you roll it out onto the water, and then you can use it as a flotation device in many different ways.
It is a literal flotation device.
It literally is a flotation device, but it was I just had never used one before.
Was it hard to get a footing on it? Did you ever capsize?
I mean, look, when I was getting on, it's not something I'd want to see on video. You know what I mean? It probably wasn't like super. I probably wasn't super nimble. I probably didn't make it look great. Yeah. But
whoever was thinking about fucking you changed their mind after they saw you.
But I think that the laying down, it lets a little water in, so it keeps you cool even in that hot Florida sun.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Half in, half out, like my braised short ribs.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Just the tip.
Yeah, you want the duck skin just above the water. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Don't want to sog it up.
But it's when it's that, because the sun was out. It was full. It was pretty full on. So that was very nice. And then yesterday we drove a new G-Wagon around in the rain, which was it was so nice to be sitting up high. It felt good, and it was a bright blue color, which is something that usually I would be afraid would call attention to the police. But here, that's like black or white.
Yeah.
It's like the brighter the color, the more you fit in, which is something that I forget.
Yeah, that's true. I'm glad that you're having such a Benz week. As me, somebody who owns a blue Mercedes-Benz, and I also own your other car. It's nice.
Your blue is different than the blue that I shared, but it is blue nonetheless.
Okay, I have more of a tasteful navy. You're right. Yeah, I'm just hungover right now. Carolyn's out of town. She's in Australia. She's in Sydney. I think she linked up with Ione Sky and Ben Lee yesterday, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, because I forgot they live there for real.
Yeah, they just straight up live there.
Yeah.
Permanent residence. Yeah, and I think the time zone difference is so crazy that...
Yeah, it's hard to comprehend. And it does make communication difficult, but sometimes it's like so extreme that there's like the 1 hour crossover.
Yeah.
Where there's like everybody's firing, but it's at opposite times. But I'm glad that you're figuring it out on your FaceTime application.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of FaceTime audio going on right now. But I've only been home alone for 2 days, but I wanted to ask you, or maybe you're the wrong person to ask, but do you feel like when you are home alone, how do you eat differently? Do you feel like you just do the same thing normally, or do your eating habits change at all when you don't have an audience or somebody else there that you have to take into consideration?
No, I don't think
since you're an alpha male, you probably just say, we're getting sweet green again, bitch. What are you gonna do about it?
No, I wouldn't say that. I would say that you always have to ask a woman where she wants to eat, and then she usually says, well, where do you want to eat? And you know how that goes, and it kind of turns into a whole
I don't do that anymore, because you started that sentence by saying you always have to ask where they want to go, and I stopped doing that a while ago.
Must be nice. She just tells you where you're going?
No, I tell her.
I don't believe that for 1 second.
No, we straight up have a set of rules set in place involving the food and the eating, where I choose what she's going to eat when it's her and I. And then when I'm going out on a meal with the bros, or like I'm gonna go get, like last night I had dinner with a friend of the show, Max, and his husband Robert.
He's more than a friend.
Of course, he's more than a friend, but like I'm going out, with the fellas, whatever that may mean. I'm going out to dinner without her. She chooses where I'm gonna go. Like Python's in town. Where am I gonna go get dinner? She'll be like, oh, go to Azizam. He'd like that, and I'm like, okay, perfect. It works out well.
One of the weirdest things you've ever told me, I have to say.
Really?
Why would you let someone choose where you eat if they're not going? Like, I don't give a fuck what you think. I'm the one going to eat.
It's not so much of like I'm letting this happen. It's more so the relief of the decision fatigue that we all suffer every day. Like you know how when you and Alex are like, everyone is tired, been a long day, and you hand her the remote, you pick what we're gonna watch. No, I don't care, just like put on anything. I just don't want to decide, and then I want to watch this, but you don't want to watch this, and I gotta do this, and I gotta watch what you want to watch.
That's more passive. If I'm going out to eat, I'm choosing within reason. Like, I'm not, well, especially if I'm going out with the fellas, like I'm not allowing Alex to have any say in that at all.
I don't give her full authority and carte blanche, but I think more so the point I'm trying to make is that we are good at knowing each other and what we want to eat when the other person doesn't feel like making a decision, or they're too busy to, or they're overwhelmed, whatever it may be. So when she's busy having a work day and running around and going to yoga and going to this and that, I'll be like, this is what we're gonna have for dinner tonight, and I don't even run it by her. It just happens, and then even if it's not exactly what you are craving, which it usually is, I usually do a good job predicting what she wants. Even if it's not exactly a home run, it's still a win because you just show up and you're eating food.
I can't release that kind of power. Like I don't have any interest in that. I can be collaborative. Like that's fine.
Well, that's the whole problem. Collaborative is the issue. Where do you want to go? I don't know. Where do you want to go? I don't know. That's collaboration, and it doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, but I can't be told what to do. And neither can she. So there's no way that's gonna work without a discussion. Like that's just not how it's gonna go. I have no interest.
Okay.
No interest.
It's less of a mandated order that we give each other. It's more of like, here's a suggestion. Here's a couple places where you guys should go eat. And she
but you know more about restaurants than her. But you're saying she's a third party that isn't biased and has no dog in the fight, so her decision is less influenced or something?
I know more restaurants than she does, but that doesn't mean that she is lacking in restaurant knowledge. If I'm at an 11 out of 10, she's an 8.7. She's still
no. Of course, I'm not saying that, but I'm
student.
saying that if I'm 11 of 10, that's 2.5 points better. I'm still number one. I'm still making the choice. That's all I'm saying. This is not discounting her knowledge at all.
Of course, but it's a little bit of the forest for the trees where I know so many restaurants, and sometimes you can just be overwhelmed and burdened by all the things going on. And there could be a restaurant that I was like, oh, we should go there sometime, like 3 months ago, and then I completely forgot. And she'll be like, oh, why don't we go to this place? And then I'll be like, oh yeah, totally forgot about that. Good idea.
I'm happy that this
you helped me.
I'm happy that this works for you. I just don't. I don't. It would not work for me, and I don't know if this is something you should share.
Why? It's revolutionary, baby.
It's not revolutionary. It's strange. And
why is it that strange to have your partner suggest where you should go eat with your friend? That's not that crazy.
That is not how you phrased it. You phrased it as like you have a setup where she tells you what to do, and now you're walking it back.
I tell her
you're walking it back. You're walking it back, and that's fine because you should walk it back.
We need to have a pilot and a co-pilot. We need to have one
That's
person
true.
in charge,
Both people
but the
can't
other
be pilots.
person,
I agree.
the co-pilot has a lot of, they're not void of responsibility or having a say in the procedure, but someone has to raise their hand and
I
say,
agree. No, I agree with that part. The issue I'm having is that she's not involved in the meal that you're going to eat. I'm not. You're right. The concept is right. The application is wrong. That's what I'm saying. You're absolutely right, because the decision fatigue thing really is one of our greatest problems.
Yeah.
In all aspects of our lives. I totally agree with that.
Yeah. You're willing to forfeit exactly what you might not be in the mood for if it means that you don't have to think about it.
I'm not. That's the thing. I'm not. And if I'm saying if you and I are going to dinner.
Mm-hmm.
I know where I want to go, and you know where you want to go, and we will decide. Like, I don't need to go to a noodle shop 45 minutes away, but some people will do that, and it sounds like that could happen to you, and you go with it. And I like the roll the dice attitude in some ways,
well,
but I don't think I can be on a leash that short.
It seems to be working well, but at a certain point, we're on a roll, so things are going well. Every time she suggests where I should go eat with the broskies, it's always a home run idea. And every time I predict what she might want to eat for dinner, be it a meal that I'm cooking her or a restaurant or takeout, it seems to be a home run.
Hey, no. I'm saying if it works for you, it works for you. I'm just saying there's some things that should stay behind the marital curtain. Is all I'm saying.
Okay. The more I'm honest and revealing about my personal life and romance, the more money I make on howlonggone.com.
I don't believe that for 1 second, but where are you getting that data from exactly?
God.
That's actually where I get all my data from too, so I got to go with you on that. If we don't put God first, what are we even doing,
Your 45-minute noodle comment just reminded me of a tweet that I saw from friend of the show, Dances with White Girls, Frog. He hit a tweet yesterday with only 328 views, poor guy. I may have been the only person like that. Imagine going to Los Angeles and the food spot you check out is Spitz. Which is the name of it's like a fast casual Mediterranean restaurant.
Okay, quickly. Is it with a Z?
It's with a Z, of course.
Okay. I would have to assume.
You can't be getting food suggestions from the people that ain't in the streets. Also, you can never visit LA and get birria unless you want to take hours out of your day. Nobody wants to go on tour and travel hours to East LA or the Valley to eat some tacos. Y'all be doing the same shit in Philly. Nobody's going to Roxborough or deep South Philly for a cheesesteak. No one's going deep into Brooklyn for a slice of pizza. All y'all are sick.
I completely agree with him. 115%. This is like when I ask about having some tavern style pizza in Chicago, and it was like, oh, this is the spot. You can only go here. And I look it up and it's 45 minutes away. Mm-hmm. I'm like, who cares that much, really? Unless you're Duncan, whatever, what's his name? Guy Fieri.
Yeah.
And that is your job.
Yeah.
Why on earth would you drive an hour in the car to eat anything? That's I'm dead serious.
Well, it's just a food lover thing. Some people would say, why would you drive an hour out of the way over by some random airport to go dig through vintage cowboy boots? But
sure,
motherfuckers love cowboy boots that much that they're willing to do it.
Of course, people are willing to do almost anything, and that's kind of what our problem is, I think, overall. No shame society.
I think a better solution would be if you are going to do a destination thing like that, try to build something around it or build that into something else versus just doing that. Like Carolyn and I, when I took her to the airport a couple nights ago, there's a restaurant in Westchester right next to the airport that I wanted to go to. And I'm like, I don't care if they suck your dick under the table. I'm not going to drive to LAX to go have some small plates. But then, boom, we had to go to the airport, went to the restaurant. It was delicious.
Hold on. You're saying they have small plates at a restaurant near the airport?
I know, it's the only place.
What is it called?
It's called Tomate.
What kind of, is it like Espanol? Is it Spanish?
It's just your standard Persian, British fusion cuisine through the lens of California local produce.
Sure, of course. Yeah, sure. That classic combo, that trifecta that we're all so familiar with. My palate recognized that immediately just when you said it, just when you said it.
It's weird being at a local neighborhood restaurant in a city where you live in. And I felt like I was in Austin or Denver. It was completely foreign to me, and that's why I like LA's melting pot.
I like LA's melting pot too. It's the traffic that's the issue. But I experienced some of the worst traffic of my life yesterday trying to leave the qualifying round of this F1 race. It was a thing where every time you look, it just gets worse and worse. It's like you try not to look for 10 minutes and it's gone either farther or it's just doubled in time. And I'm in a Sprinter on the highway.
So there's no way where you can just get out of the car and walk like in 80s movie in New York kind of thing. You're on the freeway. I guess in Miami it's not that strange to see a naked guy running down the freeway, but you're probably not going to do it. So you're just stuck in the Sprinter with other influencers being like, damn, this is crazy. It's not influencers, Chief. That is not what this is. That is not. If you're in a Sprinter van in Miami and there's no influences there,
that's actually
you're
the
influencer.
That's unfortunately, you look around. I'm with Ryland, obviously, who's with me. And then there's like there's these fellas from Motor Trend and Car and Driver,
sure,
and then a woman from Newsweek.
That must be awkward. Those two bulldogs.
I know. They're friends. That's what I thought too. I thought these guys might come to blows, but it was they know too much. You know what I mean? And it's one of those situations where they talk to you as if they're assuming you know as much as they do, and they're just saying stuff like words. They're like asking about air intake and shit.
Right.
And I'm like,
right.
Yeah, man, that car's fast as fuck, bro. Yeah, it's crazy.
You're up in there being like, I like the red one.
Yeah, I'm on. That is exactly the kind of time I'm on. Purple, good. But it was so I've learned a lot of information that is relatively interesting because this whole thing is just I've never seen. It's like Travis Scott level merch buying. Like I've never seen anything like it.
It's like people aren't even thinking or considering. They're just going up and saying one of everything, please.
Yeah.
Right.
Put it in the bag. Put it in the bag. And it's not. And it's. I would say predominantly ugly as sin. And it's also not. It's not cheap. You know what I mean? Because it's like jerseys and shit. It's not just a T-shirt. Or you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So it's like the prices can get pretty high. But people are just. I mean, it's like a fucking mall out there. The hotel has a pop-up merch store in the lobby.
So. Is like F1 specifically just going merch crazy, or is every major sporting event doing this? Are we just like, are we peak merch?
Both for sure. But this particularly, I think, because there's like it's kind of interesting. Like everyone that works for Mercedes wears the same uniform.
Sure.
So that's obviously very desirable.
Right.
So it's almost like there's one driver, but he's wearing the fucking fire retardant suit. You know what I mean? Or they have a name for it, but then everybody else that works in the organization is wearing the same, and they have like an Adidas partnership, so there's a custom shoe, the whole thing. So I think it makes it very desirable because it's like available and you see it all the time. You know, it's like a football player wearing a jersey. You know, you
Sure.
see it and you want it. It's the same idea, which is it's smart in that way.
I need that fire suit.
That's what you really want. We need the big. I mean. The fucked up thing is the guy from I believe Motor Trend is 6'10".
What?
Yeah, it's fucked up, and he's good looking, and this is even more fucked up. He went solo to a club called M2 last night to listen to dance music.
Okay, so we are the same person. We're both 6'10" attractive guys who went out to a club alone last night.
Literally. And he's a bike enthusiast.
Lives life on two wheels.
And is from SF, loves SF, much like you. It's a lot of commonalities here. It was really stunning to be around someone else like that.
I wonder if he is a member of the fixed gear community.
He's not. I asked him.
Okay.
He was more of a mountain
little gravel guy. Little gravel guy. Okay.
A little gravel guy. Gravel's trending right now, right?
Gravel is trending right now. It's a hybrid bicycle that can go from road to dirt without looking like a full-on gnarly mountain bike or a full-on racing carbon fiber gay bike.
It's like somewhere between, and it's not also like the fat tire, big guy beach cruiser.
Yeah, which I think those are gone. I think that trend has passed.
Not in St. Augustine, Florida. I saw a few of those bad boys this week making their way downtown.
That's where those fat boys go to die, and the bicycles that got the cup holder on it.
Oh, I watched a guy on one of those get hit by a car. Like, not hard, but like he got hit by like a woman in a Jeep, and he just kind of toppled over. And it was like, bro, the fat tire ain't as sturdy as you thought. The fat tire
has a real like Big Lebowski energy. Like I'm just imagining a guy riding a bicycle with some sort of robe on, and he just sort of lightly hits the asphalt, and he's like, "Hey man, watch out."
That was exactly the vibe. That was exactly the vibe.
That wasn't cool, man.
So you went to a birthday party last night.
Yeah, friend of the show, Nate Rue from Sweet Green. It was his 40th over at the club living room.
My salad king.
It was
actually, because you were doing that last night, I went to Sweet Green, Miami at 9:15 p.m. in solidarity with you and Nate to celebrate his birthday.
Damn, miss me much? That's like when Carolyn's out of town and I'm like, I got pho tonight for dinner because I miss you so much.
It's exactly like that. Yeah,
and you're like,
it just like reminded me of you.
It's just been a crazy weekend, and I was like, I'm gonna get the shroomami, no mushrooms in memoriam of what we had.
That's exactly right. Well, it was one of those. But so you went to this party, and it was how turned up was it on a scale of 1 to 10?
It was good and turned. I mean, I'm not going to reveal all of the details as it is a private members only club, and there is no photography or gossip allowed. But our friend Lloyd from New York, Lloyd Ski, unemployed Lloyd.
Yes,
he was imported in to play this party because he played his wedding. So Lloyd and I are sort of in a rarefied club of guys who have DJ'd weddings of owners of Sweet Green. It's a small and powerful club.
This is the 5-timers club in DJ world. You guys need matching jackets.
So it started out. We went to go get some Thai food with Max and Robert, and it was too busy, and we ended up going to Carousel and had a nice feast. It was great. Did some gossiping and all that.
No one can gossip. No one can gossip like Max. One of the greatest of all time. One of the greatest of all time. It's inspiring.
The
honestly.
amount of like passive aggressive shade.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
I was like, I have some work to do. You think you're good at something until you meet someone.
It's an art form.
Different. Like I thought I was good until I started playing basketball with LeBron, and I was like, it's on a different level.
It's Ivy League.
It is Ivy League level. But yeah, after that went over to the living room, and it was a popping situation. But I was in the Uber going to living room, I was just looking at my phone, not paying attention, and we pull up to the W Hotel on Hollywood and Vine because there's a club there. Mm-hmm. That used to be called Living Room. So I just typed living room into Google. I forgot that this actual place that we wanted to go to, they sort of make the address a little not easy to find online.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh fuck, I forgot. And I'm in the car and I'm telling the guy like, this is wrong. I got to type in the right address. I'm looking it up, and then Lloyd is like, hey, can you send me the address? I'm at the W Hotel on the Hollywood and Vine. He did the same exact thing. So I call him, and he's like, he had just flown in. He DJ'd the after hours in Brussels the night before.
Oh shit!
Came straight to LA. So he's just like, he doesn't know where he is. He he's just so frazzled and upside down and all that shit. So I'm like, oh, I'm in a Suburban parked right in front of you. Hop in the car, and he was just like, oh my god, thank God. And we went to the club, and
That's really funny.
It
That's
was-
really
it was cool.
Him standing there looking confused, like Fresh Prince in the empty house.
yeah, just alone on Hollywood Boulevard. You're just like, what am I doing? I'm a long way from home, but it was great. There was some nice tray passed apps, and some caviar was flowing. There's the girl with the little cigarette tray walking around, but there's some zins and maybe there's some rare imported European zin flavors.
That's real.
I only enjoy Lucy, of course.
Of course,
Lucy.
you wouldn't even accept a free Zen under duress. I know that
No.
about you. You're loyal to the soil.
I'm loyal to. Hey, I won't even fake accept it and put it in my pocket to dispose of later. I want to get that mess out of here.
I don't even want to pretend that I could possibly have one of those. What
Yeah.
time did you get back to Glendale?
It was about 2-ish, I would say.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, yeah, you were out.
I was out, and I went. I only did a little bit of mushroom chocolate, and the problem was the chocolate itself. When you hear like the people are like, oh, I ate this brownie, and like they're like, just have like 1/8 of a corner of it, brother Strong, and
Yep.
it was so yummy. I just ate the whole thing. Ooh.
Tastes too good.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I ate this chocolate, and the chocolate was delicious. There was no flavor of mushroom, psilocybin, funk in it at all. There was zero shumami flavor happening. And I was like, get this away from me. It's too delicious. And it's just a small square of milk chocolate.
So did you
The mushroom space is going well.
But did you? Yeah, it's the next thing to get ruined by dorks. Did you? Well, I guess it's always been dorky. I guess that's fine.
No.
Yeah.
It's cool when I do it.
No. I mean, it's cool to do it. It's not cool to innovate in the space. Let me say that.
Mm-hmm.
Like if
Yeah,
you're,
yeah.
because I know you're a real one. You'll take a stem and a cap to the dome, raw dog without a bag. But a lot of
Exactly.
these founder pussies can't do that.
They're like, is there a way I can just like get the simulated effects through my Neuralink?
So you're saying this is okay. So this is like actually a mushroom from the ground. There's no hibiscus flavor at all in this.
So there's no topical kombucha rub or anything that we can do?
I need a topical mushroom rub. Somebody's making that right now. Somebody is literally on that. That's any joke we can come up with is something that is being worked on as we speak.
Yeah. I mean, I was talking to a guy last night, and we're like wondering how far they'll push it. And he's like, it'd be cool to just smoke your mushroom. You know what I mean? And he was like, but we already have like DMT vape pens at this point. So
Yeah.
I think that's already the end of the road. The next step is just like shooting yourself in the face with a gun.
What if is there I don't know the science of this, but if you ground up mushroom like weed and sprinkled it in the blunt, would it be like sealing it with lean?
Actually, I've never heard of anyone do that, and it seems like it would go well. It's a dried mushroom. I feel like that would light up. It would probably taste like shit, and I don't know if smoking it
Does
and
anything.
lighting it on fire,
Yeah.
I don't know if it helps it or if it kills
Yeah.
the vibes.
Oh, I'm sure somebody's gonna let us know.
Bro, you've never done a fucking hippie blunt before? You fucking loser.
They just came to me, but it seems like it could be a fun project if nothing
It
else.
could be a fun project.
Because do people use grinders anymore though, or is everybody a pussy and getting pre rolls?
It's mostly pussy pre-rolls.
Mm-hmm.
Or they'll like break it up with their hands, you know?
Yeah, I see that in New York a lot. I guess if you're smoking en route, when you're a dental hygienist assistant,
I'm on the go.
you're on the go. Exactly. You don't have
Because
time.
it's like, who wants to walk around? It's like, who wants to walk around with a grinder on them at all times? It's a little goofy. It's like walking around with your Stanley all day.
I agree completely. I just didn't know breaking up weed by hand, something I've obviously done many times, sucks. And
It
it's
sucks.
not the grinder really does a much better job much more quickly.
Yeah, your fingertips get all sticky. You wash your hands, still sticky.
Bro.
Bruh.
Bro, now you're bringing me back. That's some sense memory shit where I'm scrubbing.
You try to lick it off. It tastes good and bad at the same time.
I get the Aesop one with the little scrubbies in it. Still don't come off. Won't work.
The microplastics.
Yeah, when the microplastics don't work, that shit is loud.
I ran into a friend of the show, Diplo. He was on one. There's a DJ named Guy Gerber, playing some gay ass Illuminati shit.
What did Lloyd is famous for a disco?
Yeah,
correct?
he's like a disco house kind of classic. He's one of the best DJs in America. He's so talented.
And it's okay, but there's like a genre
Great
that I always understood that he was like the guy.
Kind of from like the DFA school,
Okay.
that kind of vibe. But he's disco house, classic New York shit. He's got it all. But he's one of those guys that can take you on a spiritual vibe, on a journey to your mind.
I like that. That's a real talent. Even though I don't want to be there that late, I really appreciate the talent.
But also, we were talking about it being songs summer.
That's right.
Since he wasn't playing the Dusseldorf afters at 6 a.m., he was playing some more. He was playing songs, not tracks, and it was cool to see somebody. I feel like the songs are really what separates the goods from the greats, because everyone can just play the hit songs that everyone all loves, but there's still decisions to be made and judgments to be made based on, instead of just being, these are the 10 biggest songs in the club right now that I downloaded off of Beatport. If you just if you can pick every song in the world from every decade you want.
Yeah, it takes.
I feel like that really, you're like, oh, I appreciate your taste more.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, of course.
You're not able to really get someone's taste from an hour and a half of kick drum and bass line going wah, wah, wah,
No, you can't. Well, it's also it reminds me of the introduction of the digital jukebox, where it's like, well, this sucks now. I can get whatever I want. This is is annoying. I wanted you to narrow it down for me, so that I could make an informed decision,
A DJ is just somebody who's going to pick where we go for dinner tonight, except on the dance floor.
Damn, on the dance floor. I saw a meme going around that I screenshotted on my cellular phone.
Okay.
And it's a guy with like the stupid modern mullet haircut, and it says, "Yes, I'm a man. Yes, I drink matcha. Yes, I listen to Claro. We exist." And
did you feel seen?
No, I hate matcha. It tastes like dirt. I do like Claro, but am I a man?
Shout out Claro. What's up, girl? You killed it on the Apple Dance.
She did though. She did a very good job. But then there's some responses, and the best one is yes, I gaslight women. Yes, I destroy their perception of relationships. Yes, I manipulate women. We exist. Which I feel like
now I feel seen.
This feels like this comment is written by like the guy's ex-girlfriend. It's too pointed. It's too specific.
Well, I think everyone knows a guy who has a mullet and a matcha and a cropped t-shirt and a Claro playlist. And those types of fellas are exactly what that comment is.
That's true.
We've all been burned by one of those, and I have been that person, just whatever that version was 20 years ago.
Well, you never had the haircut, at least.
I never had that haircut, but whatever the version of that guy was when I was in my early 20s, that was me.
You were doing it.
But
Sure.
But I think the difference is I was gaslighting and doing all that stuff, not intentionally. It's just because I didn't know when I was a baby giraffe still learning how to walk.
Gaslighting wasn't a term then either.
Yeah, but
there was no umbrella to be under.
There was no, the disease had yet to be diagnosed and named, but that doesn't mean it still didn't exist. You know,
the wet market had not kind of housed it yet, and it wasn't released to ruin our lives yet.
Yeah,
just yet.
It had not been verified. It didn't have his blue check yet, but it was out there.
It was getting close. It was getting really close. That's a song. Summer though is something that that's been my agenda since birth. So I'm very happy to hear that we're turning back towards that.
I'm getting into songs, man. Carolyn and I went to a fashion dinner a few days ago for a Copenhagen brand called Samso.
Mm-hmm.
SAMSOE.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, they were nice enough to do the little Lyft credit to go there kind of thing. But I think when Carolyn did it, it wasn't allowing us to get the full black car Suburban. You know what I mean? So you got to get the Comfort Plus.
Well, then it's not that nice, is it? Really? I mean, it's a nice gesture, but if you only go halfway, what's the point?
And it was odd because like lately I've switched from Lyft to Uber. I used to be such a Lyfter, and now I'm Uber because every time I pull up my Uber, it'll say like the Comfort Plus ride to Hollywood is $32, and the black car. Literally last night, the black car was $1 cheaper than the Comfort for whatever reason.
I don't understand the math on that, but it does happen pretty often.
It'll either be the same price and sometimes a little bit lower. I think it's because I live in a neighborhood full of Armenian guys with Suburban, so it's like it's a scarcity.
They're already here
kind of situation. I'm already there, and whenever I'm going back home to Glendale, they just cosmically know that like, oh, I get paid to go home. But I was so used to not so much. I don't care about the car being nice and new and big and fancy to impress people when I pull up to the restaurant. It's more you're paying so the driver shuts the fuck up.
Oh yeah, and it doesn't smell bad.
And it doesn't.
I've said
smell
this.
bad.
I completely agree. Yeah, that is exactly what the money is going towards in my mind.
It's the exact same. It reminded me of the old adage of I don't pay a sex worker to fuck me. I pay him to leave.
Of course.
I don't pay my Uber driver to drive me. I pay him to not talk to me. And because we had a driver, it was like a 45-minute drive, rush hour, to go to like deep WeHo, Beverly Hills, to Stella, West Hollywood, delicious meal. A bunch of fashion girlies, not even looking at the mortadella pizza. Entire pizzas. Oh my God. I went home with a doggie bag full of fucking.
We need to talk about that.
Yummy pizza. Oh yeah, we do need to talk about the doggie.
I'm getting flamed.
I'll add that to my notes. But the Lyft driver was a woman who had her Stagecoach credentials dangling from the rear view and still had all of her
I like that.
All of her bracelets on.
Oh.
She was telling us about how many times she's seen Jelly Roll live, and about Zach Luke and Luke Zach and Zach Dude and all those people and how they're awesome. And you get to see the people who really are living check to check, barely hanging on, and yet they are buying $1,500 tickets to go watch people play country music. And it's a real weird epidemic going on. But
I don't think it's just country music. I think there are people doing the same
everything.
thing.
It's everything.
Yeah, but like it is twisted.
But I feel like music festivals, specifically across all genres of music, it's starting to, where people went from being like, we're post-consumerism, now we're experiences. I'd rather pay for like meaningful travel and experiences versus, a new designer handbag or whatever it is. I think we may have gone too far and we need to go back to designer handbags.
Dude, you don't have to argue. You don't have to tell me, Chief. I'm about to polish up the Birkin right now before I hit the paddock. Don't have to test me, player.
Somebody posted a photo of their car, and like Coachella will be, there's people will write on like with paint pens and stuff like
like they're graduating
Coachella,
high school.
L-A, or and like write Deftones and shit on whatever in puffy paint on their car. And now I saw somebody with a Stagecoach. It was a custom made sticker, like a 12
vinyl sticker, like
vinyl
a vinyl
sticker,
yeah,
on like the window of their car, and it's like, I go to Stagecoach. I cook my own meals. I don't buy fancy clothes. I don't have a fancy car. I don't. Basically, they're just saying like, I don't spend my money on anything except Stagecoach Music Festival, and it's basically
no.
I think it's like Disney adults, but with music.
Yeah, no, it's not about. I think Stagecoach stands for something. That's what they're trying to say. That it's kind of like Stagecoach
stands for white America.
Not even that. It's like, I'm a salt of the earth. Like, I don't need all this fancy crap. I just need my music and my booze and my friends. That's what it feels like to me. Of course, it's white people, because who else listens to that? But like,
well, they're saying, they're not saying that they love it so much. They're justifying the fork in the road that they have made, because music festivals are so expensive. You literally have to choose between food water and gas and electric or
No.
music festival.
I mean, there's some truth to that, but
and it sucks. It would be ideal if I was able to go to a concert and buy clothes for my kids, but
we got to make choices in life.
But I got to make choices.
This is it.
And by saying that, then they're able to justify this potentially irresponsible life decision under the guise of being a salt of the earth, cool, regular person.
Grayson's got to go barefoot another season so that mommy can see Luke Bryan headline.
But is it better to see like mommy needs to see Jelly Roll or mommy needs another pair of red bottoms? You know, like what's worse, you know?
Neither are good, of course, but we're not talking about responsible spenders that are planning for the future. We're talking about people who think the world is going to end and they have to have as much fun as possible before it's said and done, you know? And it seems like the focus on experiences has crossed over into like every subgenre of people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like everybody, the experiences is all we have.
Experiences are, but I'll wrap it up on her, but she did the thing where I think you may have met somebody like this where somebody mentions that they actually drive better when they're high.
Yeah, I've heard you say
what I'm
that.
talking about?
Yeah, I've heard you say that. Yeah, it's not new at all.
But our driver, while she was driving us, was bragging about how she is able to eat 100 milligram edible.
That seems like could make your leg go numb.
You know, it's entering snail mail territory in terms of dosage. And I was like, you know, are you on? Because she was speaking like she got the wet brain, and I was like, I asked her if she's high right now, and she said no, but I knew she was lying.
Yeah, you don't tell your passenger that you can easily take 100 mgs and still drive the Kia and then not be fucked up. There's no way.
I don't know. Yeah, she called Instagram stories story time. And I was like, okay,
that's quite good. Actually, that's quite good. That's quite good. What kind of car was it, and were there other decorations?
There were no other decorations. She also said that she's like in med school getting her like master's.
Let me ask you a final question. What size was this woman?
She used to be large, and now she is less large, but still very large.
Yeah, I had a feeling, but I just wanted to check.
She let us know that she's getting the surgery where they cut your stomach in half. She's getting that soon.
Okay.
And her insurance pays for it.
Yeah. So she's just not aware of Ozempic as an easy shot that gets delivered to your door. She'd rather have invasive surgery.
She said she doesn't believe in Ozempic because you have to take it for the rest of your life, and she said she doesn't want to do that. She said she hates like prescription Western medicine, and
that's
she hates
interesting.
all that stuff.
The Jelly Roll I hate Western medicine crossover feels a little rare and exclusive to the state of California, I would say. But I like it. This sounds like a twisted chick. And another question, because it seems like you found out literally like her DNA. How long was this ride?
It was 45 minutes.
Okay, so you got 40, and she was chatting, and I know you activate when someone starts it.
I didn't want to, but we had no choice, and she was
had
gone.
no choice.
But the whole time I was like, "Get me in a Tahoe with a silent Armenian man,
dude,
right now."
I want it to smell like duty free and cigarettes when I get in that fucking Escalade. No, I'm totally with you. I mean, it's even worse in non-major markets. You know, like you get in a guy in Atlanta in a Comfort, and it's a whole. He's talking about, you know, how he disowned his gay son. Like that, that is literally the vibe. It's too much. It's too much. I'm like, look at me, bro. I'm gay. Why would you do that? Why would you say this? It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, no doll protection with the AR-15.
Yeah,
yeah. This is my doll protector. Come and test me.
I like that. That's a good. Yes, that's Pedro Pascal's going to do that in a movie where he has a weapon. You know. I can see it now. He just unloads a clip.
He pulls the little snub nose out of his thigh-high patent leather boot that La Roche pulled for him. This is my doll protector.
these are Valentino, and I'll show you who's boss.
I just got my chin done, and I'm about to do your chin. Gratata.
We're getting ready for the Met Gala. I can't, we're just hours away.
Oh yeah, it's literally happening today as you're listening to it. This is the most wonderful time of the year in Straggit world. We are so excited for the Met Gala, and Carolyn not being home means my ass is going to sit on the couch and watch it alone. Is that dark?
No, it's nicer to do that. What do you mean? It's then you don't have to. It's like seeing a movie with someone. I don't want to talk about this fucking movie when we leave. It's the same thing. I don't need to. I have my friends on Twitter that I talk to about this stuff.
That's the thing. Met Gala is for Twitter. Anytime red carpet is happening live, whoever you're with in that room, your friends, your party, your bros over for the Super Bowl or the Oscars or whatever these big moments are, they're never going to be as funny and cool never. As Twitter.
I really like the Nikki Campbell guy on Instagram. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
He's in the picture, but then the looks are like popping up like TikTok style, and he's commenting on them. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's like a video.
Yeah.
It's like a 2-camera video. Mm-hmm. He's my personal favorite because it's short and sweet, and he doesn't pull any punches. So I'm excited to see his version of this.
Okay. Yeah, that's the other problem is that, we're old enough to where we don't see why we need to have our face in a video of something else, but I think it really is.
Oh, it works.
It
works.
I think it's one part we're doing it because it works for the algorithm and all that stuff to see somebody's face, but I don't know if they're doing it because it's going to work or if they feel the need to, make whatever somebody is wearing on the red carpet about them. You know what I mean?
Oh, I think that's what works. I think the algorithm rewards it too. Mainly is what it is. I think. If there's a face, like a real human face, I believe the algorithm responds better to that. And you see some of these people blow the fuck up, and it's like, I don't know if this would work if it was just Twitter or audio or whatever. You need that.
But I see it with regular non. Media influence.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a trend. It's like a trend for sure.
Like people our age and a little younger. Well, like I went to Charlie XCX. Like our friend Andrews, friend of the show, Andrew Steele. He went to Charlie XCX. He takes a video of Charlie performing on stage, and it's epic and blah blah blah. And then people who are in their 20s and younger record a selfie video of their face with Charlie XCX in the back.
That's actually true.
To prove that they are there.
They didn't steal this video from Google.
A two-step verification that they are.
Yeah.
This video of Charlie XCX rolling around on the floor has been authenticated like my fucking Birkin from the real because my face is in it now and you ugly bitches aren't. It's just a dark energy that
I think some people, I like it. I think some people are really funny, but I think that when you're doing it for those reasons, I think it is sinister. When you're just trying to prove that it's real, it doesn't really work the same.
Yeah, because you deep down, that I bought tickets to this concert for this selfie, not for the music.
Hey man, as long as the tickets sell, I don't give a fuck. That's kind of that's the way you got to look at it.
Yeah. You mentioned doggy bag.
Yeah, there was a picture of Dumois posted a picture of Dua Lipa and her man leaving a restaurant, and he's carrying a doggy bag. And I was like, you can't do that. Like, the paparazzi's waiting outside. You just look stupid, Like, come on, dude. Don't do that. Like, do you really...
Do we know what restaurant it was? Are we able to tell?
Let me
see if I could pull this up.
It's probably in London, I would guess. Let me see.
It's probably in London. You're right.
Let's see.
I'm going to...
Maybe he's an investor,
Search with Google Lens.
It seems to be something called hog salt.
What'd you call me? Hog salt?
Hog salt. And I'm looking it up, and it looks like quite a nice restaurant. Exceptional hospitality. Very British. Oh, it's like a group, I think.
Hog Salt, Chicago's premier dining experiences.
Oh, it's four. Oh no, they were leaving Fort Charles. They're in New York because of Mega. I'm sorry, they're leaving Fort Charles.
Fort Charles to go bag.
Go back.
Yeah.
And Fort Charles is an expensive, decadent restaurant that is excellent, and it is. I'm sure that eating that whole burger is tough for a guy that looks like this.
So that means this person got the to-go bag, but they don't live.
Maybe they. This is what makes it even. But this is what makes it even worse. There's a high probability that they are going to a hotel room.
Yeah.
Even Dua Lipa in the suite at the Mark. Is there a full-size fridge? I doubt it. So you're going to move the San Pellegrinos and the liquor bottles around so you can shove half a burger in the fridge? When are you going to eat this, bro? It's just not. It's just.
I have a theory and I have an idea. Also, we're not even going to talk about the stain on his white shirt. Poor guy.
No, that happens. It's a drippy burger. And they do some like table art there as well that you got to watch out for with desserts.
Table art. David Cho comment, he spilled on his t-shirt. Very relatable. 162 likes.
Yeah.
You said can't take a doggy bag at this level. 28 likes.
Of course. And several comments being like, you're a fucking idiot. Why would you say that? Which is fine.
Okay, so here's my theory, and I think it's an emerging food trend.
Great. We're breaking yet another trend here on How Long Gone.
Especially for somebody like Dua, we're getting dessert to go and eating it in the hotel room alone.
So no one can see you when you're famous.
Yes, but I'm suggesting this idea because Carolyn and I also like to do this because certain foods you want to eat in the privacy of your own home, and also sometimes you want to take a little time in between the meal, especially if you just ate at a heavy steakhouse. You know, Carolyn and I went to Mozza for lunch a couple days ago. And we were stuffed, but they have this really good butterscotch budino, and it's already in the little glass jar.
I've had that.
You've had it before. It's fucking amazing. And they just take a little glass jar, put it in a bag, a little thing of their little rosemary cookies, and then I'll just eat it later on when I'm not so full of my pasta, and then I get to enjoy my sinful treat in the privacy of my own home without people judging me, especially if I'm, an international pop star.
Oh, I think
chowing down on the sticky toffee pud.
Yeah, but if you're going back to the Mark, you can get dessert from room service, or they probably left a piece of cake in your room after they cleaned it. I just don't think you need to leaving if you know you're getting photographed, which if you're Dua Lipa, you're getting photographed. You can't let your man take the doggy bag. It just doesn't look good. It's not a cool picture.
The doggy ruins it.
The doggy ruins it. I understand it's food waste, blah, blah, blah. If you're going to Fort Charles, you don't give a fuck about food waste.
No.
Like, let's keep it 1,000. If you're spending $500 on some burgers and dessert, you're not that worried about food waste.
I wonder if her man, what's his name? Callum,
yeah. Great looking guy. Lovely. Lovely.
Yeah. I used to judge Callum, but I've turned around on him.
No, I like them as a couple. I think it's great. I think that she probably maybe didn't even know he was doing this. Maybe she didn't pay attention. Maybe she was like, they got in the Escalade and she was like, what the fuck? Are you fucking joking?
Are you fucking joking? I think that maybe Callum, now that he's in the public eye a little bit more, getting papped up, the amount of times Dua is on vacation, he's got to have his shirt off in a lot of pics. I think he's protein loading. He went to Fort Charles. He got the Tomahawk Wagyu for $4.90. And, tomorrow morning, that's, 60, 70 grams of teen mainlined before he does chest.
Of course. Yeah, that's true. I can't argue with the protein. I mean, I told you when I was in, we stopped at a Walmart, obviously in the middle of nowhere, South Georgia. And I was looking at the cereal aisle and there were several protein Cheerios available. And I'm just like, dude, we gotta stop with the protein. Like these fucking Instagram trainers have ruined our brains. Obviously protein is good for you. You just eat the stuff that has it. You do not need protein cereal. That is fucking crazy.
I do need my protein Khloe Kardashian cloud popcorn. Though.
That's fine. Obviously, the Khloe can do no wrong. But the Cheerios Corporation that has given us a classic withstanding product to just degrade it with protein, it just doesn't seem like it doesn't seem right.
We're in the 9th inning of protein. I think we're
I think so too.
And How Long Gone guest Harley Pasternak, he was talking about that and predicting it as well. And he's got a book out soon about how, carbs are not actually the enemy. And everybody who is a skilled top athlete eats a lot of carbs, and it's important for your body.
You need it. Energy.
All that stuff. But I think that the protein, it's going to hit the bubble like everything was fat-free and, this and that, like all these food trends and diet fads that have come and gone. And once we realize that eating 500 grams of protein every day and not working out
somehow and
continuing to not work out, it's the same thing when everyone was like, I'm paleo, I'm keto. And my diet. I think I'm gonna like this diet. I eat bacon every single day.
Yeah, there's no way. There's just the thing about all of this stuff, and I have the same issues. But it's like the real key to everything is balance. And if you can achieve that, then you're fine. But it's very difficult for us to achieve that, so we look for these kind of easier options. And it's and that's what causes a good-looking male celebrity and his hot fiance to leave a restaurant with a doggy bag and look like fools.
Put the bag down.
Put the bag down means more. When I say that, I mean doggy. Do all the coke you want, but when I say put the bag down, that like, what's his name? Dave Free. Or what's his name? The fat one. Not Dave Free's the one that Kendrick Lamar. Anyway.
Oh, Dave Blunt's.
Dave Blunt's. I'm sorry, I forgot. Dave Blunt's put down the cup.
I can't put down the bag?
I can't put down the bag, and that's protein. That's the new proteins. That's the new protein
For
slogan.
you, it was a different bag that you had a hard time putting
arguably
down.
Cooler bag, I would like to say. I don't think, and I'm not exaggerating, and maybe I am wrong, I don't think I've ever taken leftovers from a restaurant maybe in my life.
I believe that.
I don't think I have, and I would love to have done it and then learned the error of my ways and corrected. But I truly think that I've been on this early because I just don't like it. I just don't like the way it feels. I'm not going to eat it. I don't care about waste. If I cared about waste, I'd live a different lifestyle, and we all would. So you're lying if that's what you think you care about.
For me, I do it because it's almost like stealing.
You can repurpose.
Yeah, that's why I can repurpose, but to me, it's like going to a foreign country and stealing an exotic animal and bringing it back home as a pet, and I get to, you get to enjoy this outside product inside your home, and there's some weird excitement to that, but it's nice to like get some leftover steak from a really nice restaurant that's been cooked and seasoned perfectly in more butter that you would use at home, and it's delicious and naughty, and you would never make it this way at home, but now it's inside of your home, and now you sort of I can use that to make, I can make a sandwich or a fried rice or a congee or a this and a that, and I could take this product that's just served as is at a steakhouse. And I could potentially myself turn it into something twice as good.
And in a TJ style, you can make some bomb-ass tacos out of it or something like that.
I can make some bomb-ass tacos out of it. I can make a dope quiche.
Something is. I can't wait till you have a restaurant one day or a cookbook and it's dope quiche is one of the things. Dope quiche.
How dope is your quiche today? What's your dope quiche of the day?
What's your dope quiche? Do you have a dope quiche offering today? God, that's funny. All right, I have to download this file, send it to you, and then head off to the raceway for the real race, which is happening at 4:00.
It's finally happening.
It's finally happening. But I'm going to, hopefully, Riley and I are going to go meet Dizza at Walrus Rodeo for dinner tonight before we head out in the morning. So it's, so I'll Steph. As long as I see Steph and I see Dizza, I feel like I've done my Miami right, Yeah,
you've done it. I'm going to just be hungover and listen to Joe Budden podcast while I walk around my neighborhood.
That sounds infinitely better in many, many ways.
Next episode, I want to talk. He was talking about having a pet peeve where when your girl make you food, but she doesn't get the timing right, and then your food comes out cold. You got a cold plate. And then one of the guys said he doesn't like to eat hot foods.
Yeah. I listened to that yesterday on the treadmill. It's not wanting to eat hot foods, and then he was kind of like not defiant about it, but just like, what do you? Yeah, I don't want hot food, and they're all like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And he's like
all food, not just like cereal.
Yeah. He's like, so you're saying you don't want like lasagna hot? And he's like, nah, room temp. I'm like, that is I know I'm fucking crazy. That's really crazy.
I agree.
That's really something special.
But
that's really something.
It is to me. I think once you've mastered being a home cook or like an actual, amateur chef, is the timing is the last step of the puzzle. Once you're able to cook 5 different dishes and then have them all come out hot at the right time, not overcooked, not cold, then you're really cooking with grease, brother.
That's true. That's a real skill. Howlonggone.com is the website. We're back with a full Met Gala report on Wednesday with our friend Lynette from Harper's Bazaar, who's one of my favorite fashion people with an attitude, and she's also British, which feels like it makes everything better,
Let's hope she's able to judge as well as we do.
Yeah, I think she will be.
Do not allow her to plead the fifth.
Yeah, I mean,
do not allow her to plead the house down.
Plead the house down. Howlonggone.com. Thank you for listening.
Now I'm going to jail. My lawyer's pleading the house down. Sorry, go ahead. Howlonggone.com is the website. Thank you guys for listening. We love y'all. Wish Chris good luck down in the paddock. Let's hope there's not a dangerous accident and a fireball crash goes into his area. Let's hope everyone at the Amex Carbone Beach experience has a perfect al dente rigatone.
I walk in like, baby girl, what it do? I'm the flyest nigga in the boiler room. 3 chains on me like a plantation. I'm just so bad, she a celebration. Ribbons let us fuck because she ready to eat. Block big as fuck, look like a desert eat. 20 different bitches, they all came from me. Got fake drugs, they ain't come from me. Molly pill.